Hello everyone, welcome back to the Land of Wanderers. Something in this game that I've never really gotten into all that much so far is fishing, which is what I'm about to change today. Right now, the problem is that if I want to go fishing, I have to come all the way here to this little mountainside village we made 2 episodes ago, which is not really a problem. It's close and it's really nice. We built it for a reason, but wouldn't it be nice to have a little fishing spot next to home? Now, technically speaking, our house is literally oceanside, so we don't have an issue when it comes to spots to go fishing, per se. But the vibes just aren't the same over here. Which is why in today's episode, we're going to be building a fishing shop alongside some other things. The whole plan is actually going to involve all this area, so the build in and of itself is going to be somewhere around here. I'm thinking right about here. And while we're at it, we're going to take advantage of the situation, and we're going to landscape and terraform quite a bit of this, I think, to make the build fit and kind of continue the village progress. I know what the build's going to look like. I don't know what the rest is going to look like, so we'll discover it together throughout this episode. You might see that I got a new buddy in here. Do you have an idea of what I might have done in between episodes? Over here, in my storage room, off to the right side, we have a little netherrack farm and some lava. And I may or may not have given in to the temptation to build a torture chamber. I've done it. It's just too good. It's too efficient. Now, I was hesitant to actually build it because I didn't want to take too much of the challenge away from actually playing the game. But I play Minecraft to chill out and make nice builds and stuff. And I don't feel like building 50 pickaxes. I'm going to leave all that grindy stuff to Vintage Store when I play that. So you might have noticed that I have all these chests up here. And this is just basically me getting ready for the build. They're all empty, so we have pretty much none of our materials ready. All I've gotten done is actually planned out the build. But now we have to go get the stuff and start doing it. But we're not going to do that just yet. I have a few side quests I want to get done before actually doing the main event of the episode, which, bear with me, but I think it'll be worth it. So let's see if I can just pop this down here and take this out. I made a to-do list during the holidays that I never came back to. So let's see, mining, we got that done. This is done. So what I want to get done is this one number right here. Number 2, make a book and quill for important coordinates. That's what we're going to do. So first of all, we're going to make another book and quill. There we are. I had one of these in my old world, and I always carried it on my person and lost it in the lava. So what we're going to do is when we take this out, we're going to not be traveling. And then when we're not using it, we're going to put it back in my ender chest so we don't actually permanently use it. I mean, lose it, not use it. We're going to use it. That's the plan. Maybe I'll duplicate it and set it up somewhere in the house or something. But that's what we're going to do for now. I suppose we could start off with home. There we go. So from here we can actually see the Hall of Heroes, so there's no real need to add the coordinates, but I think it'd be cool, so we're gonna do that anyways. The nostalgia. Cool, that's done. I guess we could add our oceanside village, even though it's right next to home. I think the platform there is a good spot. Ow. We'll have to think of a cooler name for this place, but for now it's gonna be mountainside village. We're not going to go there, but we do have the little spawn area that is, you know, at spawn. So we could include it just for consistency's sake, I suppose. Spawn, 0, 0, and 0. Now let's see, what else do we have that's important? I think the final coordinates that I would like to put down are the access to my end portal. I haven't been in a while, but it is quite useful, and I need quite a bit of end rods for the build, so I think we're going to have to go in this episode, and I always have a bit of a hard time locating it. Yeah, it actually was the easiest time I've ever had locating it. I probably should build something around here to find it easier, shouldn't I? Seems like a thing I should do. Alright, with that done, let's go head home and see what our next task is. Alright, we can check that off the list. The only thing we have left to do for this old to-do list is move cleric into tower. And I think with the new mechanics, I can put him into a boat and leash him around, which might be a lot easier than setting up a bunch of rails. Do I do that now? Or do I leave it for another episode? I think we're going to try it now. The hardest part is going to be isolating the cleric from all the other villagers and getting him out without hurting or letting the other ones free. They're all in here. Let's go assess the situation. All right, I need you. And only you. Okay. Well, you know what? Farmer's coming with. Okay, let's break this and this. Is that enough? No. How about this and this? There we go. Now, can we, yay or nay, pull this with the lead? We can. Okay. All right. So if I put this here and if I pull, oh, there they go. Okay. Okay. Let's unleash them and fix up their house before leaving. Now, let's see if we can get these guys over there. I think if I take off, we should be able to fly with them. I did pull them quite a ways. Maybe we have to not go so fast. Let's see if I can find... Nope. Oh, okay. We got him. He's floating. Okay, let's aim for that entrance. Because I won't be able to do this a bunch of times. Are we going to make that? Or should I rocket? I think we're fine. Kinda. Can I pull them up the stairs? Can I? We just have this little hurdle to get over. Maybe I can line up flying up the tower here and that'll yoink the boat up. Ow. That worked. Oh boy. Ooh, that's precarious. But that might be good. That might be good. That might be good. Oh no, I can't get in it and okay, let's pull it this way. Oh, that might be good. Okay. Let go of the lead. Oh, I think we got it. All right, come here. Come here. Come here. Nice. Okay, so now I can close up this wall. We can put the door back in. Push these guys a little bit further. A little bit. And add in a fence gate. And now they can't get out. Nice. Now we can free them. There you are, guys. Here's your new home. We are lacking a bed because it was supposed to be just this guy. We could probably fix that. I think we'll use this blank wall and we'll have a bed for the second dude. So I'll get some materials really quick and we'll just see what we can whip up in a jiffy. And there we go. Is that the fanciest thing ever? No. Cute though. Alright, we're just about ready to get to work on actually gathering all the stuff for the build and whatnot. You know, the main event, the title and stuff. Just before that, I think I want to do one final thing. So with the new update, we got, well, a few things, but one thing that I kind of want more than the rest is firefly bushes. Because I think it's just kind of cool. And I think it looked quite nice in our park they built in the last episode. What I actually want to do right now is I think we can make lodestone. And if I understand correctly, we can use that lodestone to like maybe synchronize this compass and lead it back home, which could be cool because for some reason I have a hard time finding it back home. Usually I kind of get turned around easily in this game. So I think I saw that it was like so. All right. Oh, that's cool. So let's say I take this and where can we stick it? There. Now, how do we actually activate this? Do I just click it with the compass? Oh, all right. So as long as I keep this on me, it points back to home. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's nice. I like that a lot. That's a lot more fun than spamming this and having the F3 screen open. Cool. This will be my version of B-Dubs' clock. Okay, so I may or may not have gone and gathered some firefly bushes. Here's some, ooh, creeper. It was just too tempting and I had a few minutes left before having to go to work. So here they are. I got one here. I got a few of them placed about the park and you can kind of see it from afar, all these little particles. It's quite nice. It's nothing too intense. There's another one. But I like it. Once this place is more lit up, it'll be really, really fun to just chill out at night. That's the ultimate goal. If only we could get rid of phantoms, I guess. Will phantoms attack villagers? I don't know. If they just attack me, then it's not really a problem. But yeah, we got a few. I got some in a chest in here so we can get some more in the future. Maybe I could put some right here next to my little spot. And when we came back, that gave me a chance to use my lodestone. Navigate back home. And it's so much more immersive to use the lodestone than to use the coordinate screen. And yeah, I'm glad it's I'm glad it exists. I like it a lot. All right, so I guess it's about time for us to get started on the actual main event of today's episode. Let's open up our material list. Okay, dokie. So if you look at the bottom here, we have 7,400 items, and I was expecting more, but I think there are a few of them that aren't included. There's a bunch of paintings in the way I planned it, but they're not here, so I'm guessing that's something to do with those items being rendered differently, so I'll have to keep that in mind. So it's actually more than what's indicated, but this is the main stuff. I don't think it'll be too bad, but we have a few things that aren't super easy to craft, like, you know, trapdoors take quite a bit of materials to actually make, and same goes for like the campfires. And actually what we're gonna have to do is, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we have prismarine in this build, and I ain't got any. What I have in terms of prismarine are these 17 crystals here, and I think that's it. So that means we're gonna have to probably make an Elder Guardian farm. I think what I'm gonna do is locate one, and then for that I'm gonna probably follow a tutorial on how to make a farm. All right, so I pretty much blasted through building that farm because it's not my design. I'll share if I remember which design I used, but I can show you. I think you can hear it. It's working. And I went with, I think, the first one I saw that seemed to be like the smallest and simplest, because realistically, for just me being in this world alone, I don't need too much, I think. Actually, with the amount of blocks that I did need, I probably could have just mined out the monument and gotten my blocks that way, but this is fine. At least I have it for future usage. And I thought it'd be cool to use the new features. My AFK platform here has a new lodestone, and I've already linked it up to this here compass. So while we're at it, we might as well grab this book and quill and write down these coordinates. There we are. I actually like this compass thing so much that I've renamed this shulker box. Right now it's still full of the materials for the farm, but I'm going to empty it out, and we're going to have a bunch of compasses here with all the coordinates that I want to mainly use for traveling. So I have one at home, we're gonna have one here, and I'm gonna have one for the spawn hut, just so I can not use this screen as much, and I think it's gonna be really fun. So far, I really like the feature. I just want to show you guys how close this is to home. Actually, it's kind of cool. Do I have the right compass? I do. So we're gonna face that way. That is home, and we're gonna do this real time, no cuts, so you guys can see just how close this is. Okay, I might speed up like at 1.5, but you'll see. No, we don't even need to. We should have our mountainside village rendering in now. Yep, just here. So home is that way, but we can cut up here. Just for any one of you who are not totally familiar with the world. So here's our mountainside village. There's the tower. We poke up over the mountain. And there is our home right there. So it's really, really close, which is nice. Alright, so there we are, all settled for our prismarine. We can go ahead and drop this off in these chests for now, so we don't have it in our way. And I suppose now would be a good time to actually just go and gather the rest of the stuff. So I'll see you when that's done. Alright, so while that chump is gathering materials, we are going to go through the comment of the day. In the last episode, we built this thing over here in this game. I couldn't remember the name of it, and I asked you guys for help. And someone came through. We have, all right, let's see if my Roman numerals are good. I think S is 100 years. Would this be 124 game? I'm not sure. We have this viewer here who said petanque. Is this the one, the metal ball thing? Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. That's what I'm thinking of. For anyone who's not familiar, I'll think of adding a picture to the screen right now. So thank you for that comment. Thank you for the help. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled show. Alright, we've now got all of our materials, and we're just about ready to get building. You kind of see over my shoulder here where that's going to go, and I've also gone ahead and prepared the land for it. So I just basically made a platform and made it look a little bit nice, but I haven't terraformed the whole thing or landscaped much. I'm going to wait till the build is actually in and then do everything around that. We have all those over here. I may have overestimated the amount of chests that I need. We got these 4 chests and this one here, all full of materials. But anyways, enough of that. I guess it's time to get building. And there it is, all done. Go take a look from up close, and then I'll talk to you guys a bit about the process and how I designed this. I tried to push myself to do new things with this build, so I set off with this as my inspiration, actually, since this is my favorite build. Well, was my favorite build in the village. I think it still is. This one's a new contender, but something about this just feels nice. So you can see here where the main shape is like circular, and then up top we have a smaller circle. Kind of the same idea going on here. And you can see like with the color palettes as well, if you take the red away, like I went with the same kind of idea. I think I just really like this one a lot. But I tried tweaking around with it. So what I tried to do is mess with shapes a bit more. So that's why I got the two like circles and like this one here and the big one up top. But I had a bit of a problem adding another shape. I tried to add balconies and rectangles and stuff, and it couldn't get to look right, and it kind of, I didn't know what to do. And oftentimes when you go and look up advice for building, you'll often hear that shape is the most important thing to get done right. The way I used to try to do it was when I was planning things out, I'd like do the outline on the ground, and I try to draw all the shapes like from the get-go. And that's what kind of made me come up with this house here, which is why you got this like weird wall shape. And it is odd a bit. I think I made it work out nicely, but you know, that's where this came from. I couldn't get anything to work with this building, so what I ended up doing was I found one of B-Dubs' older videos. I think it was a Building with B-Dubs episode where he talked about his building tips. And when demonstrating shapes, he actually had the separate parts separate in the builds. And I think that's what he was trying to get at. I'm not sure if that was the hint, but that's what I did. So what I ended up doing was I had this main building set up here and this tower out back for the stairs. I actually didn't have this in the original design. I designed this like completely separate from the actual build. And then when I was content with it, I used the accent mod to just grab it and like mash it into the rest of the building. And then from there, it's just a matter of like maybe changing the height a bit and tweaking it somewhat to make it fit in more with the dimensions. But that worked a lot better than actually trying to design like different shapes all together off rip, for me anyways. So maybe give that a try. And in terms of detailing, I tried to do a few things that are a bit different than what I usually did. Like we have the loom foundation, which was quite expensive actually, as well as the loom outline here with the slabs. I think looks really cool. I have the obvious big sign here. And the doorway is really kind of interesting. We have shroom lights here to kind of have it always lit up, kind of like a store, and I think that looks cool. And of course, if we head on inside, we just have like the foundation laid down, but the structure's not done yet. We'll get to this later. You'll notice how big this is. I gave myself a lot of room to actually practice interiors, and but I'll talk about that a bit later. So yeah, finishing up on the outside, we can see I also tried to have something a bit more colorful, like I mentioned a few episodes ago, which is why we got like the red mangrove roofs up here. And I think, especially from a distance, it looks pretty cool. It looks really nice. Now, like from here, you can kind of see all of the builds, and once again, cohesion isn't something that's really happening in our village so far, but I think it looks okay. If it bothers me, we can always try to make something more cohesive in the future, but I kind of like having multiple styles here. It feels alive. And I guess last but not least before heading inside is this here. The big fishy that I added, which actually this fishy had to go through a last minute redesign because I had it on just like a straight line on one axis. But what happened was, especially with the building being over there, you could either have it like lining this way and only being seen from here, or have it straight this way and you can only kind of see it well from over there. So I just kind of put it on a diagonal, and then from like anywhere in the village you can see it and you can tell, at least I think you can tell, that's a fish. I think it's pretty cool. And yes, we built that whole guardian farm for that. Just for that. So I think that's pretty much it for the outside. Now it's time to work on the inside, and we're going to start off with the floors and the walls. So we already have this floor here that's slit down. This is mushroom blocks. We have our ceiling right there. We're going to have a different flooring up top. And this is a space we have upstairs to work with for now. And we're going to do this in multiple steps. The interior is really where I think I really learned a lot and kind of leveled up my building skills. You'll notice all these windows poking out. And instead of just framing them, what I've actually done and what I'm going to do is everything here is built big so that I can have 2 to 3 thick walls and 2 thick roof slash floors here. I think it's really, really, really cool, and it adds a whole new dimension to the building. I guess you'll just have to take my word for it, but not really, because you'll see it in a few minutes. Without further ado, let's start with actually getting the walls in and the flooring. All right, there are walls and pretty much like the inside layout all done. I'll show you guys around. So coming into the front door here, we actually have a double door. Just kind of like hides the glowstone a little bit. That doesn't look the greatest when you're in here. So yeah, that's for. And I got these pressure plates so that when you're going in, it closes one behind you and opens this one. And yeah, it's like such a little thing that I've seen, and I just never really bothered doing it. But I think I'm going to implement it into more of my builds. Anyways, so we have our little entrance here that we're going to decorate later. Right now, we just have most of the layout done. And this is our like first little hallway. And I think the light blue terracotta here with the mushroom block is just so cozy, and it feels like something you'd see in a real house nowadays. And I really, really like it. So we got our hallway here that's dividing up the 3 main rooms on the first floor. Over to here, we have a room laid out as such. And if we walk to the back here, we see that we have another room here. We're going to have a staircase, but I just haven't built it yet, leading up to a little tiny room here. That's quite cozy. The floor is not done, but we're going to cover that up with whatever is going to go there, so I didn't waste any blocks on it. And from here you can see the hallway. So if you're familiar with my channel, maybe try guessing as to what this room is going to be. I'll show you guys a bit later. But it's something that I do in most of my builds. All right, so hopping back down, if we back into the main hallway, we have another room on the other side that is nearly identical in layout. So it's just the corners here that are a bit different. And you can see that we have bookshelves in here. Since they're part of the wall, I figured I'd just set them in there right now, and then I'll explain it later. We have this hole here that is going to be also elaborated on a bit further down the line. And you can see I got the ceiling done as well. So it's all jungle planks with some slabs here to kind of create a bit of trim to make it a bit more interesting. And what really excites me about this build is, alongside having all the walls divided up, is I think it's the first time I've made like 2 thick walls, right? This feels way more immersive, and I think I'm going to probably be doing this a lot more often, especially on larger scale builds like this one. So I'll explain like what the rooms are going to be for a bit later when we get to actually decorating them. We'll go one by one, but keep in mind that this is going to be like a fishing place, and everything that kind of revolves around the sea and fishing is going to pretty much be here. Up here we have our big staircase that leads us to our second floor, which actually right now, here's our big window. We are in the tower that is like just smashed onto the side of the building. And it brings us up here to our second floor, which the wall isn't not finished, but we're using a different block to close this up, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. So keep that in mind, kind of like the bookshelves down there. But anyways, this is our second floor, and I just, same design, got terracotta to keep it homely feeling, but we got different colors to kind of change it a bit and make it a bit brighter. And I'm not going to spoil what this is just yet, but try to think and take a guess at what this might be. We got 2 rooms back here. I'm going to show you the floor. See if you can guess what this is going to be before we actually get to it. So without further ado, I think we're going to get started on detailing this and actually filling out all the rooms. And I think what we're going to do is start off with this like entrance hallway here, and that'll set up the vibe for the rest of the place. All right, so we have our entranceway done. Quite simple, but you know, it's just to get in and out. So to start off with, we can look at our lighting. We got rid of those ugly torches, and we got like these kind of like beam lightings up here, as well as a nice little chandelier in the middle with the brightness. I think it's at 30 or 33, 32 right now. Everything's safe. It's not nothing spawnable, but it's not overly bright, and everything, it's just like moody enough to really feel cozy. Let's take a look. If I put this all the way up to bright, just as a comparison, that's how it looks. So on our right hand side, as well as over there, we have some lockers. So the idea for this place is partially, this is where the villagers could come and get some fishing rods and some boats to go fishing. So this could be where they like leave their like I guess wallets and stuff, and then their shoes, and then they leave with their fishing gear. Over here we have two little plants, just add some greenery and some kelp for sale. So we could just like write 2 for 1 special. We've got the same thing just over here, and over here this would be kind of like displays for fishing tournament winners. So we got their fish on display here that were preserved. 2024 annual fishing tournament winners and 2025 annual fishing tournament winners. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Like in our lore, we could have that every year there's a fishing tournament and these are the winners. You'll notice that these signs are blank. I haven't named them. And I thought it could be cool. It's not much of an incentive, but the first 6 people that comment on this video, you'll get your names as winners for this fish. What a prize, I know. But I think it'd be cool to have you guys kind of integrated into the world. I haven't done that in a while. We smoothed out the doorways a little bit with like making arches, and actually didn't even show you guys this, but we have like this little doorway here, and same thing over here to make it a bit nicer. And we have a bunch of paintings up top. And for the type of build this is, with like the terracotta wall, making it a bit modern, I think the paintings look really, really nice. And I'm telling you right now, there are a lot more in this building. I am using and abusing them, and I love it. All right, so next up, we're gonna go to the left side here and work on this little area, which is going to be the market. But before actually working on anything that has to do with the market, we gotta get a little bit more structure put in place over here. Like I showed you guys earlier, there's a room up here that we have no way to get up to it so far. So we're gonna be building a staircase from here to up there, and then once that's done, we can actually get working on placing all the markety stuff in. All right, so there is our staircase. I think it looks pretty cute. It's actually just like empty back here. We're not going to really use it, so we're just going to keep that closed. So now we have the it's already done. Wow, I did the bedroom. So yeah, for anyone who might have guessed, this is indeed a bedroom. I like to put bedrooms in pretty much all of my builds. For now, at least, I think story-wise, it's just like fun because the hypothetical owner could have a place to stay. And for me, when I am just like chilling around my world, I don't have to like go back home or always carry a bed with me. At least that's the goal. If I'm around my village, I'd like to be able to just like take a nap wherever. So that's why we got bedrooms everywhere. And this is this one. It's quite cozy, quite small. We have our little couch here with the red sandstone that I think with it being orange kind of fits well with the jungle planks that are kind of orangey. We got a composter as a little garbage bin, a little desk, and I actually forgot to put a book on there, but it doesn't really matter. We have our little elevated bed right here, and a little storage area with a chest and another painting. Quite cozy, but I like it. And now we can get back to working on the rest of the build. All right, so I want to show you guys something, and as you can notice, my inventory is empty. And what we're going to do is I've reinstalled Axiom. Well, I just moved out of the folder so far. I designed this building with Axiom, and there's a little trick I want to use, but I had a little boo-boo. I think I explained it at the beginning of the episode, but if I didn't, I'll explain it now. Where when I came back into this survival world and started planning things for the episode, I misclicked and opened up the creative menu in Axiom and erased my hotbar, which had all my good tools in it. So I had to delay the beginning of the episode because I had to grind for my tools again. So they're all in here. The precautions. I have my armor on, but that should be fine. You know what? Just in case. There. That's going in there. And I don't do this often, but we're going to do a little something that's a little bit, I guess, not necessarily cheaty, but it's not vanilla. So these are my window designs, and I think they're really, really cute. And honestly, if I leave them as is, I'd still be happy with it. They're nice, but they can be a little bit nicer, and I'm going to do it. But I want to show you guys what I'm doing because I figured that some of you are very keen-eyed and you might notice that something's off, and I want you to be privy to it. So we are going to go ahead and go into creative just for this, and look at this. Check this out. If I go over here and I right-click the fence, it gets rid of the little linkage that it has with the windows. And look how nice that looks. It's really, really cute. And from the outside too, it doesn't make the windows look all weird. See, like, I'm just not crazy about this. And I know that's not how the game is intended, but I don't really care. So yeah, I'm just gonna go into creative to do that on all my windows. Just so we get this unique little design that is technically not survival friendly, I know, but I think it's really, really cute. Just look at that. We're gonna do it on the other side as well. And there we are. All our windows are looking pretty sweet now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and uninstall Axiom just so I don't make a big mistake. And I just wanted to show you guys that little trick and explain why the windows are gonna look the way that they look. All right, come check out this room. This way. So this room is all done now, and I think we're gonna start off with the right-hand side. So we have some more kelp here for sale with some like storage and stuff to like kind of relate to that. I'm thinking here it could be like bobbers and stuff to go fishing. And here we have fishing rods that people come and either buy or rent to actually go fishing over in the ocean over there. Over here we have some other like ocean related knickknacks for sale. So this is a sea pickle, a nautilus shell. This is actually green dye, but it kind of looks like seaweed because I was too lazy to go get the kelp at home. We have some little decorations here, and over here in this little corner we have this painting is fantastic. Let me just zoom a bit. Look, it's the two villagers, and I thought it'd be perfect to have this here, and it's like it's the founders of the fishing establishment, and I just came up with two random names for them. Now, if we head over to the other side, this is more like where the current owner would work most of the time and be behind this counter and sell like the daily catches. So like here's a pufferfish, some squid, some fish. So this is meant to be like a counter with like a fridge, like in real life when you go shopping for some food at a market. We have a little Enrod as lighting, and if we go check behind the counter, over here we have, this is meant to be like a freezer and a fridge with a little sink, and this is, I guess, supposed to be like a tap. We have some storage decorations on the wall here, and once again, paintings doing some heavy lifting, but I think they look really nice in this building. And behind me, we have a little work counter that kind of goes alongside this, and this is meant to be like doors to store stuff underneath in the fridges. So we got a grindstone here acting as, actually, I think it could be a grindstone to actually sharpen the knife, which is this here. Whoops. We have a cutting board, and this, I don't know if anyone's ever done this before specifically, but I thought it was a cool detail. It's an item frame with a shield in it that you place it in and rotate it this way, and it kind of looks like a scale, doesn't it? So if we hit up on here, we can kind of get a view of the place, and I think it's really, really cool. I really, really like the interior of this place. So much so that, in fact, it kind of makes me want to kind of move out of my little house here. I still like this place, and I think it's cute, but I think my building has evolved since then, and I don't know. It's just, there's something about my new places that, oop, I forgot to take that out. But yeah, anyways, my point being that, like, the interior of this building is so cozy that I kind of want to make a new base or a new home for me. Still in this village, but at the same time, you know, just a thought. I guess, actually, it's, like, not a bad thing. It's just an indication that I'm getting better. So, yeah. So next up would be the other side over here that is still undone. And I think this one I'm going to explain the concept before actually doing it. So if that side's the market, this side is more of the business side that has to do with actually renting boats and fishing and whatnot. So I'm thinking here, this, okay, is going to be a pool, an indoor pool, and we're going to block it off, and it's going to be a little kiddie training area for using the boats. And on this side is going to be like a little lounge slash chilling area for like the parents and whatever to like just sit here and read magazines while they're waiting for their kid to finish their lesson. All right, that's all done. Let's go take a look at that. So, like I said, over here is like the resting area for like the parents, I suppose. We're going to leave their kids to do their lessons just over there. And over here we have two little chairs slash sofas with some snacks, and this is where they can get their snacks. So they got like little trays here. We got little seeds that are acting as candy. We get a drink, some books to read, as well as some more books to read over here if you run out of material over there. Now, for the other side, here is the little pool. So it's nothing too big, but it's just enough to actually practice either swimming or boat riding, which I just realized I forgot to put a boat in, so that doesn't really send the message very well, does it? We have our little stairs over here to get in and out, which I think is kind of cute. We have some more storage here, which I guess would just be like stuff for the actual lessons. And up here we have like 2 little display areas for mob heads, which are like all fishing related. Except for that one. Take a guess as to what that is, but it kind of looks like a fish, doesn't it? And I thought it was a cool detail to at least make the swimming area feel ocean-ish. And I think my favorite detail is these 2 little things right here and right here. They're safety jackets. It's nothing really revolutionary, but I think it really sells the place, and I like it a lot. In that time, I also did the upstairs. So did any of you guess what we were making up here? It is a little restaurant. So I guess we could start from the back here. Knowing that this is a restaurant, I think you can kind of guess that this is where you would order your food from the server right here. And this is where the kitchen is, and you actually can't get in because I haven't put a button yet, but it doesn't matter. It's more so just as a backdrop. We have a few little tables, mostly like little single things here. I'm guessing this is more like a cafe kind of deal going on. And we have like just 2 main tables, so one here and a bigger one right here, with the campfire and oak trapdoor chair design, which I think is really cute and fits with this aesthetic. It keeps everything really low. And some plants in the corners to keep everything not lit up, keep everything colorful. I think the green really goes well against the red. And over here, we have a little bar, which I think is really cool. Use your imagination a little bit, but I feel like the chiseled bookshelf in this context, knowing that it's supposed to be a bar, kind of looks like where you could like store some glasses and whatnot if you look at the texture from far enough away. And yeah, that's about it from up here. If we actually look at the walls and everything, we have these little chandelier designs, which I think are really, really cute. And it makes it feel a bit more fancy than downstairs, which I think is nice considering that it's supposed to be a restaurant. We have some more end rod chain designs to light up the windows that I think are cool. And once again, oh boy, are these paintings doing a whole bunch of heavy lifting. I think it really looks nice, so I think it really, really fits. It kind of reminds me of that one time I went to Planet Hollywood in New York City, and like on the top of the walls and everything, there's a bunch of posters and props from movies. Obviously, there aren't props or anything here, but the paintings kind of give off that same vibe, I find. I'm recording this just in case I die from this nonsense. I don't know exactly what's going on, but for the last few episodes I've been playing, the game has been like saving, and like you can see, it takes forever. I know this is 4th wall breaking, but if I die and lose everything, I want you guys to see why. I don't know if it's the computer getting too full or if I should... I think I'm gonna have to make a backup just in case, because it's kind of getting scary. Oh, okay. I think we're fine. Whew. So that's a good bit of progress done, and that like took 3 weeks. But it's not done yet. We still have something to do. First off, I think is we're going to link up this path over to the building over here. And then coming here in between the building and my house, we're going to maybe clean up this area. Maybe not just yet, but we're going to let it come down here and open up this wall into the ocean side. And over here in the ocean side, we're going to have like this dock that we're going to have to go fishing and to have some boats that want to leave and come to the village. And I'm thinking we're going to have just right here on the side of the building, maybe a bit lower, is a little stall to actually like rent boats. Kind of like what we have in the other village in the mountain over there. And once that is done, I think we're going to be pretty much done for all like the infrastructure and whatnot. And then it's just going to be maybe some decorating. Maybe we'll do it next episode. We'll see. But let's get to working on the path. Alright, so now we have the path pretty much done, and it's still kind of rough, especially like if we go over to here, down where it leads to the ocean. But it's just so I can have an idea of where everything's going to be laid out, and then once we have our stuff in, then we'll be able to clean up and make it look prettier. But this is like the overhead view. I think you saw it in the time lapse, but just in case, this is what we have for now. And I think what I want to work on next is the docks that are going to go right about here. So it's going to be quite big, and I'm thinking like right about from here straight across to there might be the size we're going with, or maybe like about here to there. Okay, doke. So I've got a bit of work done on the docks, and I think we're going to call it here for now for the docks at least. Let me show you what I've got done. So if we take a little view from over here, we can see that I got the actual like structure in. So what I've done actually is I've only have one spot here to actually come in and out with our boats. I think it looks nice that way. And I'm thinking this dock here is just more a platform to fish on and to hang out. I got some texturing down the walls, but not too much. I'm going to do it later. And if we look underneath here, we have a bunch of oak trap doors underneath it all. And what it does is it kind of just obscures the bottom of the platform a little bit without it being too full looking. And I think it gives this nice effect of something. It's a nice effect. So with this done, we're definitely going to put some more stuff here and decorate it, but I can kind of feel like this becoming a whole new project in and of itself and taking my attention away from the main thing of this episode, which is that right there. So we're going to leave this to a further episode, and it's going to include something that's going to go here. Now I wonder what that could be. So I'm going to collect my stuff, and we're going to go back up here and just clean up this area a little bit and decorate it with some stuff. And then I think that's what we're going to call it for today's episode. So we still have a few materials left over from the main build. So I think what I want to do is we're going to take inspiration from a build that I did over here, over in this little mountainside village. So I want to make a build. Dude, there's two of them now stuck in the boats. I want to make something in this kind of style, or at least this shape, to like sell the boats. But over there with the block palette that's more similar to the main building so that it fits a bit more. So yeah, I'm going to go get this stuff at home and we'll see what we can do with that. All right, so after showing you guys the example, turns out we made something not really in the same style at all, but I think this looks really cool. Let's zoom it out a bit. I guess it is kind of still inspired by the shape over at the other place, but I thought it'd be a lot nicer if we actually put it on a diagonal here in front of the building rather than having it to the side here, and I think it looks really, really nice, especially set next to the main building. Now I suppose the only thing that we have to do is to build a few boats and get those in so that it looks like it actually serves a purpose, and then we could probably get to decorating like around these buildings, so like some plants and stuff. And there we go. That's nice. I think it's cute. I really like this. I almost like this more than the main building. So now with that being done, we just have one final task, which is going to be a wee bit of landscaping. We got to make this fit just a little bit more. So for one final time today, let us hop into a time lapse and I'll see you guys on the other side. And here we are with the final touches all done. Now I think this is quite nice. It paints a nice little picture. So very quickly, we just bone mealed a bit of the place here. We added some bushes in, a little rock thing here, which I think is pretty cute. We got some bushes there. And I also used up the firefly bushes that I had with some ferns, and I think that looks really, really nice. It kind of makes the lack of texture in the build less of a problem, I guess, and it adds something more to look at. So with this, I think it's a nice little balance. Now, of course, if you go on either side and the back of the build, it's not done. We still got quite a bit of stuff to do eventually to have this be like completed, but I think we're going to leave that to another episode. Doing this, you learn to pace yourself. And we'll be working on some other project next episode, and we'll come back around and add some finishing touches here for sure eventually. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please like and subscribe. I'd like to see you around for the next videos. So without further ado, thank you for watching. I will talk to you guys down in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.